It was happening as we spoke yesterday at this time. The Arctic cold slamming through Colorado, bringing several inches of snow. We're going to talk about how the city of Denver is taking care of the areas most vulnerable.
Plus, a family loses their home in a fire just days before Christmas.
Climate change continues to warm our planet, but that doesn't necessarily mean we'll stop experiencing these Arctic days like this, and Corey Reppenhagen will explain. Today, officially, the coldest day that Denver's experienced in 32 years, a low of minus 24. Our thermometer in the 9 News backyard got down to 6 below zero.
One more night, everyone. We have one more night of these historic bone-chilling temps, and then a warm-up will be coming just on the other side if we can hang tight that long. Kathy Sabin joins us now with some details.
Hours away. Not the kind of records we really want to be breaking, right?
No.
Oh, my goodness. And look at the roads and the sidewalks in Boulder, icy and snowpacked, so that means walking, driving. It's going to be tricky. This is where we started this morning, minus 24 at DIA. Temperatures well below zero across eastern Colorado, western Wyoming, portions of western Nebraska, and we broke numerous records. The big one, though, that minus 24, that's the coldest temperature since December 22nd. This date, that's right, this date back in 1990, 32 years ago. That is an interesting coincidence. The wind chill, minus 42, breaking a record, 75-degree temperature swing yesterday. I bet you felt that. Feel it in your bones, give you a migraine headache. That is just hard on the body. And it looks and feels like Alaska around the area. If you ever wondered what it'd be like to live there, here you go. Current temperature, minus 9 in Denver, 13 below zero in Greeley, Fort Collins. Temperatures going below zero again tonight. Wind chill warnings will be extended out through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, as we already see wind chill values to minus 11, minus 19, minus 18. They'll go colder, and just kind of hang in there. As Jenny was mentioning, we're going to start to break out of the deep freeze starting tomorrow. Around the area with the icy and snowpacked roadways, please be very careful. Travel has been tough. There's been no melting today, of course, and the roads are icy after anywhere from about 4 inches of snow in Denver to 9 in Boulder, 7 in Arvada, 5 in Parker and Elizabeth, Castle Rock. System is moving out, becoming a major problem for holiday travelers. We're going to talk much more about that coming up in our main weather. But again, we remain under a wind chill warning. You're going to love the holiday weekend forecast. It'll be warmer. I'll have those details coming up.
Thank you. UC Health tells us they've had 5 people already needing treatment at their frostbite center. There are several warming shelters open right now in Denver and other cities in our metro area. The Denver Coliseum is serving as a 24-hour warming center, and the YMCA on 16th Street downtown also welcoming people in need of a warm place. Rec centers and libraries are also available during their regular operating hours. Aurora, Lakewood, Boulder, Westminster, they all have warming centers set up right now. We have more details on 9news.com. Homeless outreach teams have been working to find and help people on the streets get inside during this historic cold. Some of these groups tell us they had some trouble convincing people yesterday to get to the shelters because at that time it just didn't feel that cold, right? Well, many teams have been working now extra hours to try and help.
I think we have around 3 dozen staff members between our outreach team and our partners working extended hours to help get people inside. They handed out their business cards and said, if you change your mind, call me. They were going back out this morning to check on anyone who they had connected with yesterday who had declined a ride to shelter to see if they could maybe talk with them about coming in.
These outreach groups say they're still at it, and they will be for a few more days.
Certainly one of the last things you want to hear in this cold weather, especially right before Christmas, is about a house fire. Flames did spark at a home at Pecos and West 103rd Avenue in Northglen this morning, and the dangerously cold temperatures certainly made it harder for the crews that had to fight that blaze. Luckily, the family of 5 did evacuate safely with their pets. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon was there earlier today. Courtney, the firefighters certainly had many issues, like even their equipment freezing up.
Yeah, Tom, they had a lot of that. Frozen valves, frozen water lines, even their respirators froze today while fighting this house fire. North Metro Fire Rescue says working in sub-zero temperatures is a lot tougher on crews, takes longer, and requires more people.
It's been a horrible day for that family, losing everything. It's been a challenging day for us dealing with this bitter cold.
Below zero temperatures make fighting a fire a lot more difficult.
We had one fire truck that some of the valves froze up. By the time they got on scene, hose lines freeze up.
Captain Ross Riley with North Metro Fire Rescue says it's tough working in these conditions.
The mask that we wear when we go into fires, those respirators were freezing up.
He says firefighters were inside the home when the floors started to collapse. Crews got out safely but had to continue the fight from outside with the ladder truck spraying water from above.
If we hadn't had all of those challenges, that we possibly could have saved more of the house. Unfortunately, with the floors falling in, the fire was able to just burn through the roof.
He says typically they need around 18 to 20 people to fight a fire. Today, they needed closer to 30. That's because crews need to be rotated more frequently to warm up.
We have safety people that are just watching the crews to make sure that nobody was getting frostbite, any exposed skin. They just continuously circle the building, checking in with the crews, making sure they're okay. And
he says 911 callers described hearing an explosion in the garage, but there's no word yet on what caused this fire. Riley's hopeful the community will come together to help this family who lost their home get back on their feet.
Any time of the year this happens to people and they lose everything, it is just so hard to recover from.
The Red Cross will be assisting the family impacted by this fire. Around this time of year, Captain Riley says they usually get a couple fires caused by space heaters or candles, so be sure to be safe around those. He suggests putting a dinner plate underneath candles that you're burning and to make sure you're using the right size extension cord for space heaters.
Yeah, tough to see the work they had to do today. Thanks, Courtney. People trying to get out of DIA certainly had trouble today. As of a little over an hour ago, the site FlightAware showed 565 cancellations, 577 delays. And the ground crews at the airport have been working hard trying to get those planes ready. The storm, though, is also having impacts in other parts of the country as well. There have been at least 2,000 flights canceled across the country today.
Thankfully, there haven't been any widespread power outages from this Arctic blast.
We have had some outages, of course, and I think we all expected that. We've had a couple of momentary outages. Really, they are what that sounds like. They're very quick, restored quickly.
Some of those outages affected thousands of customers in Aurora and Centennial this morning, but it only took crews about 45 minutes to fix the problem. If you look at the map right now for Excel, there are 20 outages spread out across the metro, affecting just shy of 250 customers. Excel, by the way, is giving everyone a warning that this Arctic blast could mean a more expensive bill next month. The utility says increased demand for natural gas will drive up the wholesale cost. Not great news, but Excel says it could be worse. They said it won't be as expensive as the February cold snap last year. That one cost customers about $500 million. The company sent an email to customers recommending people lower their thermostat settings, maybe 65 to 70 degrees while you're home and 58 when you're away.
As we might have mentioned today's the coldest day that we've had in Denver in 39 years. Now, it may sound counterintuitive, but climate change could have something to do with it. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen explains that it may also bring more extreme cold events like this in the future.
The difference between weather and climate is on display in Denver, as one of the coldest Arctic fronts in the city's history arrives in a time where global warming takes many of the headlines. A single storm like this can't be blamed on climate change, and its occurrence can't refute it either. Here's what the research is showing about the connection. Scientists have proven that human activity is causing the entire atmosphere to warm, but they've also discovered that the Arctic is warming at a much faster pace than it is in the United States. That can cause more chaotic weather patterns, leading to more extreme polar vortex outbreaks in the future. Here's how it works. The polar jet stream controls the weather patterns in the U.S. When the Arctic is extremely cold, that jet moves fast and remains in a tighter circle, reducing the chances of the most extreme polar air from escaping to the south. But since the Arctic is not as cold as it used to be, the smaller temperature gradient is causing the polar jet stream to slow and become more wavy. That increases the chances of Arctic outbreaks in the States. A possible result is more extreme single-day cold events, while overall seasonal temperatures increase. And there's data to support that. There's now been 3 extreme polar vortex outbreaks in 3 consecutive years. Besides this week's, there was one in February of 2021 which crippled much of the nation's power grid in Texas, and another one in September of 2020 that brought the earliest freeze in history to Denver, Colorado. And yet the average fall and winter temperatures on the Front Range have been steadily on the rise over the last 60 years. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, 9 News.
Well, the people have been waiting, and today, Casa Bonita's new owners come in with an early holiday gift, a timeline to reopen.
Later in sports, the sad story of former Bronco Ronnie Hillman passing away so young. We'll tell you how he is being remembered. That's still to come.